Hello and welcome to basically Bloodbowl. Now for today's video we're just going to have a little bit of a Monday musing. We recently had the Nova Open reveal of the new Bloodbowl team, the Drakfang Firsters, but what we didn't get was any star players. Now what GW do like to do is whenever they have a team come out, they also reveal 3 star players to go alongside that team. So today we're going to have a quick look at who these players may possibly be. Now we've already had this guy announced, Ivan the Animal Death Shroud. He is possibly one of those 3, although we never know with Games Workshop. He may not be. Although in his design there is a slight hint of vampire. So what we do know is that he's a blitzer, although we have no stats yet, except for the skills Block, Juggernaut and Undead Regen. And he does have a special ability, Dwarven Scourge. And this is specified as thus: once per game, when an opposition player is knocked down as a result of a block action performed by Ivan, you may apply an additional +1 modifier to the armor roll or injury roll. If this is against a Dwarven player from any team, this may instead be a +2 modifier. So this special ability is quite handy if you're going up against a Dwarf team, be that OWA, Normal Dwarf, or I'd imagine even Chaos Dwarf. This looking model, and I'm going to go with the assumption that he is one of the 3 star players to be released alongside the Vampire team. But one guy who I do think we're guaranteed to see is Count Luther von Drakenborg. We've seen iterations of him in numerous editions in the past, and I'd be shocked if he didn't return now in what is probably the best opportunity to see him. The most important thing about Count Luther is the fact that he has no bloodlust. This is huge, as he doesn't have to rely on the insurance of having a thrall next to him. He can just go on and do his own thing. But this comes at a cost, and he's quite an expensive star player, although he has stats to match. A very good all-rounder stats wise, and he's got some quite handy skills there, including Hypnotic Gaze, Block, and possibly Dodge with this iteration. I just can't see how they can have a vamp team without him, and I'd imagine we'll be seeing a reveal of this character very, very soon. Next up is Garau Bloodsugar. I hope I'm saying that right. This is dug out all the way back in Spike magazine issue 4, and he is basically a hungry ghoul. And it's definitely a character that I'd like to see. I would like to see a ghoul that's slightly bigger than the normal ghouls, and he's got a little bit more power and punch to him. The stats here don't really deviate too much from a normal ghoul. In fact, the armor value actually needs bringing back up to parity. But it's clear to see that Garau is here to gain the ball, be that through wrestling an opponent, seizing it, catching it. He's here to affect the turnover. And as we've yet to see a ghoul star player, maybe this is the time that Games Workshop will roll out Garau Bloodsugar. Now looking further back at other potential star players based on past history, we have Jay Earlice. He's another ghoul star player, effectively a faster version of the normal ghouls we've already got. Whether this is totally needed is up for debate. Although with some tasty extra skills added on, you could have quite a cheap, effective winger on your team. Although in reality, I think it's very unlikely we will see this player. I think you'll see Count Luther and Garau Bloodsugar probably round out the 3 with Ivan. Although if there is room for one more, I would like to see Crazy Igor added to the lineup. A little known player, he is not a hunchback, but a chaos player who wants to become a vampire. And I think it'd be great to see a player on this vampire team with Frenzy. In fact, why not make Crazy Igor actually a vampire, and then you've got a vampire with Frenzy? I think it's a match made in heaven. But yeah, fingers crossed, because, well, you never know with Games Workshop. They have surprised us in the past, and I'd love to see an iteration of a character like this. But more than likely, it's just going to be something completely different. There is different things we could see. Maybe a big guy for this vampire team. Wouldn't it be great to have a vampire ogre as your star player? a real brute in your lineup, still hampered by bloodlust and the usual ogre traits. Plus I think the design team could really go to town on making a vampire ogre. But in reality, it could be one of multiple things. And probably, if anything, we're just going to see something that's vampire themed, rather than just generic undead. I guess in the coming weeks, we'll just have to keep an eye on the Warhammer community, and we'll get our answers. It'll be interesting to hear your feedback and see what you think. So that's just a few of my thoughts on where we might be going star player wise. As always, thanks for watching. Bye!